I'm Will,
And I'm Frank.
and this is Origami Cybertruck.
Well, we had a question on Quora today.
We have a lot of questions on Quora. There are a lot of... What,
That's what it's all about.
Leave us alone. God. Okay, fine. We'll take another one.
It was a good question. The question was, if lithium-ion batteries fail quickly, do we have to worry about Tesla batteries dying? Well, obviously, there are a lot of Teslas out there. What, 800,000, 900,000 now?
There's a lot.
It's December 2019. There's a lot of them out there, and they're growing very fast. And you don't hear about Tesla batteries failing. So the question is, what's up with that?
Right.
What's up with that, Will?
Yeah, I mean, so intuitively, I think, a lot of people, especially, if you haven't had an electric vehicle before or something like that, you think of, lithium batteries. Well, where else do I have lithium batteries? I have them in my phone, have them in my laptop, and how long does the battery in my laptop last? A couple of years, maybe, before it has to be replaced, or I just throw the laptop away or whatever? Or my phone, I mean, it seems like it doesn't last very long at all, so...
Yeah.
Aren't you afraid that your Tesla battery is going to go bad and degrade very quickly?
Nope.
Oh. But a Tesla, it's like an iPhone on wheels, right?
It's not
so,
really.
So the battery's going to degrade like an iPhone.
Well, let's cover it.
Okay.
So first of all, we have data, empirical data, that's pretty clear that Tesla batteries are probably going to last 400 to 600,000 miles pretty easily. And that's great. That's a lot longer than most cars last, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Secondly, we know that Tesla batteries are not the same as the batteries in your cell phone. For one thing, they have a different chemistry. For another thing, it's a lot of individual cells, thousands of them in fact, that have cooling fluid circulating around them. So there's a battery management system that's run by the Tesla computer, and it's very smart, and it prevents the battery from getting too hot or too cold or accepting charge when it's too cold. It prevents the battery from getting too close to 100% for too long. It prevents the battery from getting too close to zero for too long. It even manages me.
Oh,
When I'm driving down the road,
that's a feat.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, what can I say? I was driving down the road the other day. I was in Kansas City and I was headed to somewhere else. And it was raining and it was freezing. And all of a sudden the wind picked up and it was 35 knots of wind, which is like 40 miles an hour or something like that. And I was headed straight into the wind. And the car realized that I was not going to make my next charging station at the speed I was going.
Uh-oh.
So their little yellow thing came up and it said, please reduce your speed to 65 miles an hour or something like that so you can make your next charging station. So the Tesla will not let you screw up. It will not let you overcharge. It will not let you undercharge it. It will not let you run out of charge. It will not let the battery get too hot or get too cold. It won't let you charge when it's freezing. There you go.
Yeah. Another thing about Tesla batteries is that they have a number of charge and discharge cycles that you can do.
Oh, right. Good point.
And, Tesla engineers their batteries to last for about 1,000 full charge cycles. And at that point, they're designed to have about an 80% capacity remaining. So let's unpack that a little bit because 1,000, I mean, it sounds like a lot or maybe not a lot. I don't know. What does that mean?
Well, it's 1,000 full charge cycles, and I don't charge very much every day.
So let's talk about how a charge cycle is, first of all, defined. So one charging cycle is defined as the sum total amount to go through the entire capacity of a battery. So if you, are normally keep your battery at say 80% fully charged, and then you go driving and you use about 10% of your range or your battery up, and then you come back and plug it in, that doesn't count as a charging cycle. That counts as 10% of a charging cycle.
Right.
So you could do 10 of those trips, coming back, recharging, back up to that 80% level before you've actually, counted one of those charging trips. Now,
Right.
with a long-range Tesla Model 3, one of those charge cycles is going to get you more than 300 miles of range. So if you take that 300 miles of range, multiply that by a full 1,000 charge cycles, you're actually at about 300,000 miles. And keep in mind, That doesn't mean that at 300,000 miles, your car is just going to stop running. That means that at 300,000 miles, you're only going to have about 80% of your, or maybe better, of your pack capacity remaining. And that's still pretty good. I mean, well, that's still better than most other electric vehicles that aren't Teslas out there. So
the Tesla Model 3s are doing better than that. The long range version comes with 310 miles. Mine's a year old. Depending on which program you look at, I use several programs to access the API and track internal data inside the car.
Because we're nerds.
Because we're nerds.
Because we're nerds, yeah.
We're engineers.
Tesla nerds.
What can you say?
Yeah, basically.
So anyway, I track all that stuff, and my car has between 306 and 309 miles range now after a year and 33,000 miles of driving, and I've driven it hard. I've had 150 people take it with me to the track and slam the pedal down and slam on the brakes and go around corners hard and, see how fast they could go. Can we go 138? Yep, we can.
Yeah.
We've done that.
Survey says yes.
So I've driven it really hard, 33,000 miles in 1 year, and I've lost maybe 1 mile or maybe 3 miles, 4 miles at the most.
And it's actually pretty to be expected that, the largest share of range degradation per mile driven happens right at the beginning of the battery. So, there's a lot of graphs that you can find that show that, the range degradation tends to drop a little bit and then kind of flatten out for quite a while. And then it's a long, slow decline. So you're not going to see, again, like, typically, of course, there's always a possibility of an outlier, but on average, for most people who have a Tesla or some other well-managed electric vehicle. Now, there's a big asterisk there, and we could get into that about, some of these other vehicles, or basically all other electric vehicles as of today, and their battery management. Tesla does it really well. So you're going to see probably fairly minimal range degradation over time with your Tesla.
In general, you're just going to get better performance than what you're promised, is my experience. Now, I've heard Tesla drivers that have said something else, but that's my experience. They tell you X and you get X plus 1, usually.
Yeah. So there you have it. Why don't you see Tesla's batteries failing all over the place? Because they're designed not to. They're better than your cheap, lithium polymer battery in your cell phone. So they're naturally going to last longer. They're well cared for by the battery management system. And your charging cycles and the size of the battery is naturally going to lead to a long-term battery health.
Now, while we're on the topic, I just want to cover 2 quick things. One is, people have asked us, do these batteries get recycled? The answer is yes. The Tesla factory in Sparks, Nevada recycles these things. They take them in, they get almost everything out of them, and put it right into a new battery. Another thing is, can you use the battery for anything else once, let's say it's degraded 20%, and you've lost 20% of 310 miles is, what's that? That's 18.6 or something.
I'm going to keep driving the car, but maybe...
I'm going to keep driving the car.
Sure.
But you could take the battery out, put it in your house with your solar system. I have a solar system in my house that charges my Tesla. It also charges batteries in the basement. Well, I'm going to take that Tesla battery, maybe put it down in the basement. You can sell it.
Yeah.
They're worth a heck of a lot.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Just because it may not be good enough anymore for vehicle, the weight to battery capacity may not be optimal anymore, even down to 50%. Still, that battery has a lot of usable life left in it. And so you're not going to have to necessarily just recycle it in the sense of tearing that, obviously not you, but having someone tear that pack apart and crush up all the things and take the metal bits out again. These packs can have multi-decade lifespans beyond their initial use. And that's one of the really great things about it, and why, the whole life cycle of the electric vehicle is really exciting, because we're going to see second life uses for these packs that's going to, stabilize our grid, provide backup power to your house, whatever it may be, before that then gets recycled back into something. So it's kind of it's a big win even after that degradation happens, which is going to be a long time in the future if you're driving like a normal person.
If you were worried that 10 years hence there's going to be a lot better battery, and can I change? I imagine you will be able to change. There's going to be stuff available in 10 years that probably is better. You can take the old battery out. It can be recycled. It can be used another way. So no worries about any waste in this system. There's so many ways to use a Tesla battery.
Yep.
In the future, there are going to be a lot of things done that aren't possible today.
Okay. There you have it. That's why Tesla batteries aren't failing all over the place, even though they're lithium ion. So thanks for checking out this video. As always, we would appreciate a comment, a subscribe, a like, maybe all three if you're feeling fancy.
Hit that notification bell.
Yep. And you'll hear about all the, well, we think are pretty reasonable, wonderful things that we have to tell you about Teslas in the future.
Good stuff.
So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.